Max Verstappen is a four-time Formula One world champion.
Oh my God, man, what a season. 4 times. Thank you.
Max Verstappen entered 2025 as a 4-time world champion, the man everyone was desperate to dethrone. The only eligible challenger seemed to be Lando Norris, but Oscar Piastri was completely out of syllabus. While the world watched McLaren's internal war, the biggest gamble in history, Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari, turned from a fairy tale into the most shocking reality check of the decade. We thought the hierarchy was set in stone, but after 24 grueling races, heartbreaks, and betrayals, the entire world championship came down to a gap of just 2 single points. This is the story of the most chaotic season in Formula One history. The season opener in Australia began with chaos before the lights even went out. Isaac Hadjar slammed into the wall on the formation lap.
No way, Isaac Hadjar, and he is gone into the wall.
When the race started, Lando Norris covered off Max, while Oscar Piastri flew past the Dutchman to make it a McLaren 1-2. But then, the rain arrived. Chaos ensued. Carlos Sainz and Jack Doohan were out, and heartbreak hit the home crowd when Oscar Piastri spun off from second place. A potential win instantly turned into a recovery drive.
As the Australian driver spins at the penultimate corner of the racetrack, can he keep the car going? Is that the moment?
Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton tried a massive gamble, staying out on slick tires in the pouring rain. Hamilton led briefly on his debut, but physics eventually won, forcing him to pit. Up front, Lando Norris kept his cool to take the first victory of 2025, but the real statement came on the final lap. Piastri, fueled by anger, overtook Lewis Hamilton around the outside of the final corner.
Going all the way around the outside. What a move!
Lando won the race, but McLaren knew they had 2 drivers ready to fight. Shanghai defined the season's chaos, starting with a shock in the sprint. Lewis Hamilton put his Ferrari on pole and converted it into a dominant victory, Ferrari's first ever sprint win.
Lewis Hamilton wins for Ferrari for the first time in Formula One.
For 24 hours, the gamble looked like it was paying off, but Sunday was a different beast. Oscar Piastri was unstoppable, taking his maiden pole and controlling the race beautifully. Lando Norris followed him home for a McLaren 1-2. It looked like a perfect day for the team.
Oscar Piastri wins the Chinese Grand Prix, and Lando Norris nurses home the McLaren.
However, drama unfolded in the stewards' room. Hours after the race, the news broke: disqualified. Both of the Ferraris. Leclerc's car was underweight. Hamilton's had excessive plank wear. The high of the sprint win was instantly erased by the humiliation of a historic double DSQ. While Ferrari imploded, Red Bull made a ruthless call. This was Liam Lawson's final race. Starting from Japan, Yuki Tsunoda would take the seat.
Was it a mistake? And do you admit now that it was a mistake not to promote Yuki at the end of last season?
Liam was showing great, promise last year, and I think we just asked too much of him too soon.
In one weekend, we saw McLaren's dominance, Ferrari's collapse, and Red Bull's brutality. The 2025 season was taking no prisoners. After the chaos of China, Suzuka was electric for the homecoming. Red Bull had pulled the trigger, Liam Lawson was out, and local hero Yuki Tsunoda was finally in the big seat. Before racing even began, bizarre challenges emerged. Grass fires stopped practice, and rookie Jack Doohan suffered a horrific crash in FP2.
Oh, he's turned it with DRS up.
Oh my word.
He's turned it flat.
Reminding everyone how unforgiving the track can be. When it mattered, the king of Suzuka returned.
But it's Max Verstappen who returns to the front of the field.
Max Verstappen converted pole into a masterclass victory.
Max Verstappen takes the checkered flag to win in Honda colors in Japan.
His 4th consecutive win here, but the McLarens were hunting him down. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri finished 2nd and 3rd, crossing the line just 1.4 seconds behind. Further back, history was rewritten. Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli didn't just drive, he flew. On lap 50, he became the youngest driver in history to set the fastest lap and even led during the pit cycle. Ferrari, celebrating their 1100th GP, couldn't find the magic. Max was back in charge, but the season was truly heating up. From Japan, we moved to the desert heat of Bahrain. If China was Oscar Piastri's redemption, this was his statement. He converted pole into a clinical lights to flag victory.
Oscar Piastri Piastri wins the Bahrain Grand Prix.
For Lando Norris, it started with a nightmare. A rookie error, starting out of position, earned him an immediate penalty.
So Lando, we've been given a 5-second penalty for out of position on the grid.
He fought back to salvage third, split by a heroic George Russell in the Mercedes. The real shock was Max Verstappen. Usually dominant here, he was nowhere, fighting an undrivable car to a distant sixth. Chaos continued down the order with Carlos Sainz crashing out, and post-race, the plank wear curse struck again, disqualifying Nico Hülkenberg from a strong finish. With his second win, Oscar Piastri wasn't just supporting Lando anymore, he was hunting him. The internal battle had officially begun. From Bahrain to the high speeds of Jeddah, the power dynamic shifted. Max took pole, but Lando cracked under pressure, crashing in Q3 to start 10th.
As Norris in the other McLaren finds the barrier.
With his rival down, Oscar Piastri smelled blood. The start was explosive. Max and Oscar went wheel to wheel. Max cut the corner to hold the lead, earning a decisive 5-second penalty. Behind them, chaos reigned as Gasly and Tsunoda took each other out, triggering a safety car.
Big crash with Yuki Tsunoda and into the barrier with Pierre Gasly.
Oscar didn't just rely on the penalty, he outdrove the Dutchman to take his third victory.
Oscar Piastri wins the Saudi Grand Prix.
Lando salvaged fourth after a desperate recovery, but the damage was done. Leaving Saudi Arabia, the student had officially overtaken the master. Oscar Piastri was the new world championship leader. Miami started with history. 18-year-old Kimi Antonelli became the youngest sprint pole sitter ever. But in the wet race, Lando Norris took the win, while Max endured a nightmare, smashing his front wing in the pit lane and finishing a humiliating 17th.
And he's dropped back, he's recovering at turn 16, and contact! Contact!
Sunday was supposed to be Max's revenge from pole, but the papaya cars were hunting. On lap 14, Piastri launched a clinical move to take the lead.
It's late on the brakes for Max Verstappen. He keeps the lead for the moment, but Piastri powers by.
With Lando muscling past soon after. From there, it was a parade. Piastri secured a hat trick of victories, leading a McLaren 1-2. Max finished a distant fourth. The standings told the brutal story. Piastri led with 131 points, leaving Max languishing on 99. The question now was, which McLaren driver wants it more? Imola showed F1's ruthless side early. Jack Doohan was out at Alpine, replaced by rookie Franco Colapinto. Oscar Piastri took pole, but the race was decided at the start. Max Verstappen produced magic at Tamburello, throwing his Red Bull around the outside of the McLaren to seize the lead.
And Verstappen roars around the outside to take the lead.
It was a move that screamed, "I am still the king." Lando snatched second late on, but Max held firm for the win. Behind them, Lewis Hamilton produced a vintage recovery from 12th to 4th, while Alex Albon stunned the paddock by dragging his Williams to 5th on pure pace. Max was back, and the three-way fight was officially on. Monaco turned from a procession into a pressure cooker. Lando Norris produced a lap of the gods to deny local hero Charles Leclerc pole position.
That's pole for Lando in Monaco.
The race was a high-speed chess match. Max Verstappen's alternate strategy failed, dropping him to 4th, while George Russell's frustration boiled over.
Drive dangerously slow, just slamming on the brakes at all areas.
Deliberately cutting a chicane to pass Albon and earning a race-ruining penalty. Up front, Lando was flawless, taking McLaren's first Monaco win since 2008.
There you go, P1 in Monaco, baby.
Monaco, baby! Yeah, baby!
Leclerc finally broke his curse to finish second, with Piastri third. The result tightened the noose. Piastri's lead over Norris was cut to just 3 points. The teammates were now officially rivals.
Box.
Quick, take a short pit stop and smash that subscribe button. Join the Formula Storm grid to keep your F1 updates always in the DRS zone. Let's get back to the video. Spain was a statement of total dominance. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris locked out the front row, McLaren's first since 1998. Max muscled his way into P2 at the start.
Max Verstappen is going to roar around Lando Norris and take second place in the Grand Prix.
But chaos struck on lap 55. Kimi Antonelli crashed.
But a full safety car has been deployed. It is a complete reset then.
triggering a safety car and a 6-lap sprint to the finish. This is where Max's season hit a boiling point. Restarting on cold hards, he lost a spot to Leclerc.
Can Lando Norris get with his teammate ahead of Verstappen? Nearly drops it, and Charles Leclerc does wait for the start-finish line to improve up to 3rd position.
Then collided with George Russell in a moment of red mist.
Max, can you let Russell through, please?
No, I was ahead.
My advice is to let him through.
I was ahead, he just ran me off the road.
Oh, contact! Max Verstappen into the side of George Russell.
A 10-second penalty dropped the champion to a humiliating 10th. Up front, Piastri was untouchable, leading a McLaren 1-2. Nico Hülkenberg produced a stunning P5 for Sauber, but the real story was the standings. With Max stranded, the title fight was quickly turning into a McLaren civil war. Canada was where the McLaren rivalry officially exploded. George Russell was untouchable from pole, but the real drama was brewing behind him. On lap 67, Lando Norris caught his teammate in 4th. No team orders, just racing. Lando lunged, clipped Oscar's rear on the main straight, and crashed out instantly.
We go to turn 1. No, he's ripped off the front wing. The McLarens collide.
The papaya rules had crumbled. While McLaren imploded, Russell took his first win of the season. Max collected a smart second, but the spotlight was on rookie Kimi Antonelli, securing his maiden podium. The gap widened to 22 points, but the damage to the McLaren friendship looked permanent. Max Verstappen's home race at the Red Bull Ring turned into a nightmare. Qualifying was a disaster, leaving him 7th, while Lando Norris stormed to pole. Disaster struck on lap 1. Kimi Antonelli slammed into the Red Bull at turn 3, sending Max into the gravel and out of the race.
And it's a lock-up for Kimi Antonelli, and he's hit Max Verstappen.
The home crowd was silenced instantly. With Max out, it was a straight fight between the McLarens. The tension was palpable after Canada, but this time, the respect held. Lando withstood the pressure to take the win, leading another McLaren 1-2.
Well done, mate. Well done. Great job.
Yeah, well done, everyone. Beautiful 1-2.
The championship implications were massive. With Max scoring 0, he was stranded on 155 points. Oscar extended his lead to 216, with Lando closing in on 201. Max's title defense was crumbling in the Austrian gravel. Silverstone delivered a classic wet-dry thriller. Oscar Piastri seemed set to spoil the home party, controlling the race until controversy struck.
Whoa, mate. Jesus. He's just suddenly against us down.
The stewards handed him a 10-second penalty for dangerously backing up the pack at a safety car restart. That changed everything. Lando Norris stayed within the window, inheriting the victory when the flag dropped, his first win on home soil.
Lando Norris wins the British Grand Prix.
But the emotional highlight was 3rd place. In his 239th Grand Prix, Nico Hülkenberg finally claimed his maiden podium for Sauber. Max Verstappen spun during the restart, recovering only to 5th. As the rain cleared, the championship gap closed to just 8 points. But then, mid-season, a shockwave hit the entire F1 world. After a 20-year reign, Christian Horner was ousted from Red Bull. The man who built this team from the ground up was suddenly gone. Laurent Mekies stepped in to take his place, but the damage was already done. That wraps up part 1. Since the 2025 season was so packed with action, I've split this recap into 2 parts to make sure we don't miss any details. Catch all the drama and the crowning moment in part 2. The link is in the description and pinned comment. See you there.